What's good, y'all? We have yet another Nintendo fanboy. Sorry about that. And this guy, he is interesting. I think he is a level 5. So if you guys don't know, level 1 is the lowest. You know, level 2 is not as, you know, level 1 is the lowest level. And then level 5 is like the worst level of Nintendo fanboys. But yeah, we have a Code Red, level 5 Nintendo fanboy. His name is, I think, Nintendo Nukem. Yeah, Nintendo Nukem. And he makes a 30+ minute video with hella bold claims. He kind of reminds me of Harmon Smith, but like, you'll see what I'm talking about. He makes claims without using evidence to support any of them, and he just says things that are like wrong a lot of the time. And then, like, you know, a lot of the he attacks people for having opinions, just like Harmon Smith does. And yeah, so we're about to get into this, and we're about to dissect every single one of his points and debunk everything that he has to say. So let's get into this.
The Switch 2 has probably created the biggest Nintendo hating generation of all time. I have never seen so many fucking losers, goofballs, and faggots out there make so many stupid ass videos crying about Nintendo.
Oh yeah, and he uses the F slur. That's why I think he's a worse version of Harmon Smith.
Ever. Now, during the Wii U era, it was basically just, haha, Wii U sucks, it ain't selling well, we're gonna see Mario and Zelda go to PlayStation consoles and Xbox and all this shit, right? When the Switch came out and was, you know, kicking PlayStation 4's ass, continues to kick the PlayStation 5's ass, I mean, a lot of these fucking losers, they were pretty quiet about it. And then, of course, they came up with this stupid narrative, this like damage control, this coping narrative that, well, Nintendo.
The original Switch doesn't have better specs than the PS4 or the Xbox One. I don't think. I'll show a scan maybe to prove that. But what does that have to do with the title of your video? Why Nintendo haters are insecure about the Switch 2? That has nothing to do with your the title of your video. Anyway, let's proceed.
Nintendo is not competing with PlayStation or Xbox. Nintendo's doing their own thing, all right? They're not. You can't, you know, make fun of us PlayStation fat boys because Nintendo is beating PlayStation. You can't do that. You can't talk shit. You can't laugh at us or anything because, well, you know, technically it doesn't count because it's a hybrid. You know, it's a hybrid console. It's not a traditional home console. That was their fucking stupid argument. Still their stupid argument, and they're always gonna use that talking point anytime you want to troll them and make fun of their asses. But that's kind of funny though, how the Switch doesn't count, Nintendo's Switch 2 doesn't count, the Wii.
Am I tripping, or is your audio like weird? Like, I think I can hear like some input or like feedback from the background. It sounds like you're outside or something. Or like a fan or something. Like, you can hear something in the background.
Didn't count, right? So every time Nintendo was kicking PlayStation's ass, well, it didn't count because, you know, X, Y, and Z.
Also, what do you mean by kicking their ass? Do you mean like in terms of sales, or do you mean like in terms of performance and like what do you call it, like specifications? Like, you're not very clear on what you mean by Nintendo was kicking PlayStation and Xbox's ass. Like, what do you mean? Like, were they kicking their ass? Like I don't know what you mean by that.
But the Nintendo Wii U, which was, you know, Nintendo's biggest failure, one of Nintendo's biggest failures as a home console, somehow that counted. Somehow it was okay to bring up that console when, you know, comparing it to PlayStation, even though many argued that console was like, wasn't even really.
I hope you know that you can edit out the long pauses in your video, like in your vocals. You should try it sometime.
Anything unique or different from the Wii itself, other than the little tablet that, you know, you couldn't even like go more than 10 feet away from your console in order to play it, right? And isn't it funny how that was a very gimmick?
Oh, alright, I just read what that said. So, he's just like Harmon Smith. You know, he uses copies sold or reviews to justify why the product is good. But that doesn't really mean that it was a good product. It just means that it sold well, you know? I mean, he doesn't show scans of like why it was a better product on paper. He doesn't show scans of the resolution of the Switch. He doesn't show scans of like, you know, the core processor, nothing. He just flashes numbers in your face like rice gum by saying, oh, it sold 154 million units, so therefore it is a better product. No, that's not how it works here. Like, you have to prove why something is better on paper. You know, saying that it has enough, it sold more copies is not enough. Anyway, let's continue.
And, you know, kind of, you know, it was just a very gimmicky console for the most part, and yes, somehow that counted. Nobody said, well, you know,
sorry, y'all.
It doesn't count because it's very gimmicky. You know, the Wii somehow didn't count because it was gimmicky, and that's the only reason it was beating PlayStation 3. But the Wii U apparently did count it.
Yeah, but you mean it was beating PlayStation 3 in terms of copies sold, right? Because then there I would agree with you. But like if you're talking about like resolution, specs, games that you can get on it, I think that the PlayStation outclasses the Wii, but that's just my opinion. I have more memories playing on the PlayStation 3 at my friend's house than I do of playing on the Wii at any of my friends' houses. But you know, sure, the Wii sold more, but that doesn't mean that it's a better console.
And therefore, it was cool to just, you know, compare their sales to the sales of the PlayStation 4. But of course, then the Switch comes around, and it completely mops the floor with the PlayStation. It mops the floor with the PlayStation 4, and
it really doesn't. I think the PlayStation 4 had better specs than the original Switch, which is what you're referring to, because you said the Switch came around, which was the 2017 version. You're not even referring to the OLED. I don't think the Switch, even if it was the OLED, I don't even think that one outperforms the PS4 in terms of specs and like performance. But you're not gonna say anything about that because you're just like Harmon Smith, where you only use numbers to prove if it's better.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count, right? Suddenly that doesn't count. So when Nintendo's kicking PlayStation's ass or whatever, it just doesn't count. The handhelds, you know, the handhelds have always fucking dominated, always kicked PlayStation's ass. You know what? Not only do they outsell PlayStation's shitty handhelds, like the PSP, PSP Vita, and all that fucking garbage.
The PSP is one of the best sold handhelds of all time, up there with the Nintendo DS. I know that the PS Vita, you know, that one was irrelevant, it flopped, but you just established earlier that the Wii U flopped, so you can't really use that argument, at least by using your own logic, that is, you know, like in terms of copies sold. I'm not really gonna get into whether or not the specs on the Wii U was good or not, because that's irrelevant. It's 2025 and the Wii U came out in like 2011 or some shit. And I'm definitely not gonna talk about the specs on the fucking PSP, because that shit dropped in like 09, 07. I don't even know when the PSP came out, but that's not even relevant. Nothing that you're saying right now is relevant to the title of your video either. It's why Nintendo haters are insecure about the Nintendo Switch 2. You haven't touched on anything about that at all. All you've done is talk in circles about how the Nintendo outsold the other consoles back in the day, and you didn't even use relevant consoles. Whatever.
They outsell a lot of PlayStation's consoles as well, but of course, no, that doesn't count. It's a handheld. Handhelds are always going to sell well. So there's always going to be these, bullshit talking points.
Not always, obviously, considering you just criticized the PS Vita for not selling well. So no, not all handhelds sell well, according to your own logic. But yes, the Vita didn't sell well anyway.
But what's funny is, even with...
But what I'm saying is you just contradicted yourself.
These talking points, you got so many of these fucking morons doing their best to tear down.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna be really harsh on this guy, because what he does is he calls people out, calls them the F slur, makes fun of people just for having opinions. So he gets no mercy.
On the Switch 2 as a console. Now, there's a lot of dumbasses out there right now on YouTube. There's a fucking idiot.
Okay, so we got Fertanga Plays, I think the second guy, his name's Alex, and then Angry Vigilante. I don't know who the last person is. I'm not sure who this guy is. These are people apparently who he calls out.
Known as Angry Vigilante Show. I don't think I've listened to not one fucking second of any of his stupid videos. This guy, I constantly kept seeing recommendations from YouTube for some of his videos, and it's basically just negative Nintendo shit.
Well, if you've never watched a second of his videos, how can you criticize him?
I don't think I ever see him talk crap about PlayStation or anything else. It's primarily Nintendo. So I don't know what this fucking loser is. A butthurt PlayStation fangirl, butthurt Xbox fangirl, butthurt Sega fangirl. I mean, there's a lot of these fucking losers. Most of these guys who hide behind the PC gamer label, I'm a PC gamer, or whatever, let's be real. A lot of these PC are just former, PlayStation fangirls, Xbox fangirls, Sega fangirls, and they're just butthurt that their fucking console, their console of choice, has failed, has lost to Nintendo, and so now they have to hide behind I'm a PC gamer. We eating good over here at PC, and it's like, okay, so if you're a PC gamer and all you care about is PC gaming, why the fuck are you so involved in like console wars and shit like that?
You take the road and you take the sun. If you fuck with me, you're gonna get the gun.
You're throwing stones in a glass house, my guy, because you're involved in the controversy as well, or the console wars, as you say. You're involved in it as well, so kind of weird for you to be calling these people out on it when you do the same thing.
And what's funny is they'll often talk shit about, oh, you console warriors, all you console, gamers, this and that. It's like, apparently you fucking losers are more involved in this console war shit than actual console gamers.
Well, clearly not, considering you made a 30-minute video about it. So, I don't really know what you're on about.
It just goes to show how fake these guys are. It just goes to show that they were just former, console gamers, but because their console of choice got its ass kicked, they have to just jump on the PC bandwagon like, oh, us PC gamers, we're superior, the PC, master race or whatever. Bunch of fucking losers they are, really. But I just find it funny, there's so many of these fucking losers. So I mentioned already, Angry Vigilante Show, he's really just fucking an angry little pissed off vagina. You got this other fucking loser, Nintendine, this stupid fucking, his dumb avatar. He's got this like Wario looking avatar. It looks like Wario or whatever, like just a variation of Wario. And I could just imagine that's what the guy looks like in real life. Just looks like a trashy fucking trailer trash bum. And he kind of has like a very similar voice to Arlo, which is a little bit weird. It would almost seem like maybe this is Arlo's, alter ego over here. There's a lot of people who do shit like that. And Arlo, he's sometimes he's good to listen to, sometimes he's...
I wonder if this video is a troll. I'm trying to gauge, but I'm hearing his voice, and he really sounds serious. Like, I don't know why he's calling these people out. Did they do something to you? Like, did they mess with you or something? I don't understand. Like, why are you acting like this? Like, why? is it personal? Like, is it a personal attack? Did they do something to you? Like, why are you, I don't get it.
Just a complete moron.
Like, it's just people with opinions. Like, they had an opinion about Nintendo, and now you're just calling them out like this. I don't understand.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, he's just one of these two-faced people who, you know, one moment he's enthusiastic about Nintendo, and the other moment he's just trying to rip them down and whatnot. And after all, this fucking Nintendine guy, the vast majority of his views come from negative Nintendo news, and this guy, he will literally just lie about things regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. He would lie about the sales, saying that, oh yeah, their sales are dropping, they're no longer outselling the PlayStation 5, and then you actually check the damn numbers, and oh yeah, it's actually outselling the fucking PlayStation 5 by a huge margin.
Okay, can you show a scan of that then? No? Okay, then I don't believe you.
By like hundreds of thousands of copies on a weekly basis. And in fact, the original Nintendo Switch, even though it went up on price for the original Nintendo Switch, that is still outpacing the PlayStation 5 in Japan, still outselling it by like 15,000 copies.
Oh, so you have numbers, but you don't have like a scan or anything to show it? Okay, fine then.
But this, you know, retarded piece of shit, you know, he just makes these stupid fucking videos, these lies and shit about Nintendo. And seems like the main reason he does it is because he's a stupid ass Nintendo hater, for one, and because he knows it's gonna get him a shit ton of views from all of the pathetic, you know, internet dwellers who are they're just in the worst shape right now. They are absolutely depressed and miserable because Nintendo is just dominating, and they know it. They absolutely know it. When the Switch 2 was first revealed, man, did all these stupid assholes come out of the woodwork and make a big deal out of the dumbest shit. Alright, first it was Mario Kart World being priced at $80.
Yeah, it's Mario Kart, not Mario Kart. And if you're gonna sit here and you're about to try and defend Nintendo for making Mario Kart an $80 game, then get the hell out of here. Cause like, no, that's undefendable. Mario Kart, $80 for a kart racer is not worth it. Fucking $70 for a kart racer is not worth it. A kart racer shouldn't be any more than $40, you know, and I will die on that hill.
Very fucking stupid.
I mean, Mario Kart World is a downgrade to Mario Kart 8 in every aspect. It's a downgrade from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, yeah.
Wow, it went from 70 to 80, a $10 increase, and you had so many of these fucking clowns acting like they can't feed their kids and their family because, you know, they have to spend an extra $10.
Well, people who can't afford to feed their families are not actually going out and buying video games. That doesn't make any sense on an economic standpoint. They're probably not even looking in the direction of video games, you know, because if they do, then their bank account will be, you know, sweating or something. But I don't even understand what you're trying to get at. Like, you're really trying to defend an $80 product? Like, fuck that. Like, get out of here. Nintendo doesn't even agree that Mario Kart 8 deserves to be $80. You know why? Because you can buy the Mario Kart World bundle for an extra $50 compared to the original Switch. So you're getting scammed if you purchase Mario Kart 8 Deluxe alone. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are you on about?
Yeah, let me tell you fucking retard something. Your $10 is not going to...
Let's see what these are. We're gonna dismantle each of these points one by one. High profit margins. Well, I just explained that, yeah, Nintendo doesn't even agree for the price of Mario Kart 8 being $80 when they're scamming you out of it by making it $50 if you purchase the bundle of the console. The best exclusives, not really. I mean, I fucking God of War is pretty good. Fucking, you know, I mean, that's just a subjective argument, whatever. If you really look at the exclusives that Nintendo even has, they only have like 5 or 6 different properties that they can pull from. like Zelda, Pokemon, fucking Mario, maybe like Metroid, maybe the occasional Kirby game, and maybe like Donkey Kong. What's that, 6? Other than that, they have little to nothing to play, and a lot of the third-party products skip over the Switch. Like, they skipped the Switch because they didn't want to optimize their game for the Switch, because the Switch fucking sucks. Like, its specs are ass. And the same is probably going to happen with the Switch too, because I already established that the Steam Deck in one of my last videos has better specifications than this Switch 2 does. So moving forward, when third-party games are making these new games, they're probably not even going to port their games over to the Switch 2. Now, I know I'm making speculation, but considering the history and it happened in the past, I see no reason to believe why it won't happen in the future. Especially now that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to come out like in March or some shit, like next year. Once Grand Theft Auto 6 drops, the hype for the Switch 2 and all of the other games with it, it's going to die down, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the most sold games of all time. So when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I see no reason why that won't be the most sold game of all time. Let's see, the richest video game company. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's the best. And you know why they're rich? Because they practice shady business tactics. Has the most pathetic haters. Whatever you say.
Be able to get your family much food. All right. It's kind of it shows the low IQ with these fucking idiots to pretend like spending $80 on one video game. All right, just getting that one video game is gonna make it to where they can't feed their family. That shit is.
Well, it's like one of the most expensive video games of all time. Of course, people are mad. The outrage is justified.
It's just.
And it's a kart racer. Like, what? Like, why? And they don't even reduce the price of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the store either. That's still a $60 game, which is stupid. Because Mario Kart 8 originally came out on the Wii U, and the Wii U came out in like 2011, and Mario Kart 8 came out in 2013. Sure, the DLC you get with Deluxe is cool, and you know it's bang for your buck, but the fact that they're still charging $60 for like a 12-year-old game is stupid. They should have reduced the price of it when Mario Kart World came out anyways, but they didn't. So I don't even know what you're on about.
Beyond fucking stupid to me.
Again, most of the things that you're saying doesn't even relate to the title of your video anyway.
Like, how fucking dumb you have to be with finances to make that kind of stupid, conclusion. But yeah, this generation so far, it's...
The only one dumb with finances is you, because you're defending an $80 product.
It's definitely the worst generation for PlayStation boys. For Xbox fanboys as well, and not to hate on Xbox or anything like that. I know there's probably a lot of guys out there who, are good.
Not to hate on Xbox proceeds to call people out who like Xbox. What?
People who, they just love Xbox because they love to do shooter games and whatnot, but...
Okay, but you can get shooter games on the PC, you can get shooter games on the PlayStation. It's not exclusive to just the Xbox. Like, what point is that? What are you saying?
Ever since Phil Spencer decided to just, backstab you guys, and the CEO, Satya Nadella, whatever his stupid name is, that piece of shit, ever since they just decided to fucking betray you guys and start putting games on PlayStation, it's been terrible for Xbox.
You don't even understand business practices. So the reason why they ported over games, the Xbox exclusives, to PlayStation is so they could make more money. That's all there is to it. It's nothing personal. They didn't betray they didn't betray no one. They were just trying to get money. Like, that has nothing to do with betraying. The only time they really betrayed them was recently, when they raised the price of the Game Pass, and they've raised the price of subsequent consoles. That's betrayal. You know what I'm saying? They didn't betray no one when they ported games over to the PlayStation, because PlayStation does it all the time as well.
The sales are not doing good at all, and I'm getting really sick and tired of idiots out here pretending that going multi-plat, going third party, was a wise move. No, it was not.
It is. They get more money. They get to branch out with other competitors. They get to branch out with other businesses and possibly, make more money. Like, how is that a bad idea? I don't understand.
No, it fucking was not. Stop acting like it was. It was never a wise move. Alright? That was always the stupidest fucking decision they've ever made. And it's even more stupid that they put games on PlayStation. When PlayStation, apparently, according to Phil Spencer himself, PlayStation was,
Again, what the fuck does this have to do with the title of your fucking video? Do you not script your videos? The title is Why Nintendo Haters Are Insecure About the Switch 2. And now all you're talking about is porting over games from Xbox to PlayStation is a bad move. When it's not. It's really not. They're getting more money by doing that.
Money had in games, keeping games from going to their system, and yet they're gonna fucking foolishly just give PlayStation some of their best games like that. Yeah, let's reward their bad behavior.
No, it's a partnership. They're not rewarding their bad behavior
by giving them our games. Let's just be fucking cucks, right? And even though some Xbox fans will pretend like what the
and they're not giving those games away. They're still getting money from people who purchase the games on their platform, and then some, because then they're getting money from people who have PlayStations. It's a partnership. It's crazy that you can't comprehend this.
Multiplat thing was good. I mean, I'm getting really sick and tired of that kind of dishonesty. Stop lying to yourself. You have to be honest at some point, and you have to just get angry at Xbox for what they're doing. As a Nintendo fanboy.
Well, yes, I'm mad that they raised the price of the Game Pass and they raised the price of subsequent consoles. I am mad about that. But other than that, Xbox, if you compare the shady business practice of that to the Nintendo, it's nothing. Because do you know what Nintendo is doing? Are you aware? They have the authority to break people's consoles if they see that they're not following the fine print that nobody reads except for lawyers. They're putting a paywall on Mega Evolution. The Palworld situation with the lawsuit just emphasizes their greed and jealousy. $80 games. These are all business practices that nobody should support. And it's crazy how you don't understand that.
I will get angry at Nintendo when I think they're dropping the ball, when I think they're not doing a good enough job of hyping up their console, Well,
they're dropping the ball by making the game $80 fucking, even though the game is a downgrade from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
They're giving us bullshit partner directs, partner showcases, instead of a full-blown Nintendo Direct that's going to highlight a bunch of cool first-party exclusives. I will call them out on that, and I will rip into them. I'm not going to be yeah, Nintendo's winning, yeah. Look at these third-party games that, have already been out for 1 to 2 years, now coming to our console. No, that's fun.
Actually, that's another point, is a lot of these products, these first-party products that Nintendo has are just old. They're milking these products. Mario been out since the fucking 80s. Donkey Kong been out since the 80s. Kirby has been out before I was born. Metroid has been out for decades. Zelda's been out for decades. All of their big 5 or big 6 products, first party products that you hype up so much, they're outdated and they're just milking the fuck out of them. Even Pokemon, been out for decades, So I don't understand what's so bad about these third-party products. Why do you not like third-party games? The fact that the Switch can't run these third-party games is actually a limiting factor for the Switch, if you really think about it. Because a lot of these third-party companies they couldn't be bothered to change up the game just so they could cater towards the Switch. That's why the Switch got skipped over in a lot of development for these third-party products. And like I said earlier, the Switch 2 was probably not going to be any different, because the specs on the Switch 2 aren't that good either. I already established that the GPU was not as good as the Steam Deck. The resolution is not as good as the Steam Deck. The battery life on the Switch 2 was not as good as the Steam Deck. And the cartridge storage or whatever, the RAM and all that is not as good as the Steam Deck. So what we're going to see in the future, this is speculation, but this is what I think is going to happen. This is my hypothesis. A lot of these third-party products are going to skip over the Switch 2 as well. And then what does that leave Nintendo with? Oh yeah, just their first party products that are old and outdated. So no, I don't know what your point is. And again, this has nothing to do with the title of your video. It would make more sense if, you know, you were showing like people complaining about the Switch 2 in comments and then rebuttaling them, or like rebuttaling another person's video who is making a video where you think that they are insecure about the Switch 2, but you don't do any of that. Instead, you just talk in circles about sales prices and nothing for like, it's only been 12 minutes and you haven't even really brought up any objective points. You've just been making subjective points this entire video.
Fucking stupid. You know, I'm not gonna do what fucking Dr.81 and, you know, other clowns like that are gonna do and just pretend to be excited because a fucking third-party game is finally being ported to Nintendo. Just not gonna do that, alright? But sadly, a lot of these Xbox, you know, fans, diehards, you know, they will just pretend like Xbox is winning as something, you know? And it's like, look, if you want Xbox to do better, you need to straight up call them out on the bullshit that they're doing.
Well, people are calling Xbox out. They're calling them out on the raised price of the fucking Game Pass and the raised price of the subsequent consoles. People are calling them out for that. I hope you know that.
Because they're literally just embarrassing you guys.
Embarrassing.
And then, of course, you know, let's just talk about, you know, PlayStation. You know, let's go back to PlayStation. They are down very bad.
How?
For the simple fact that, you know, I mean, they've been they have no fucking games whatsoever.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is I made it the fuck up.
PlayStation has no fucking games whatsoever? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? They just got Ghost of Yotei like a week ago? 2 weeks ago? Not even. A week and a half ago? But yeah, PlayStation has no fucking games apparently. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Whatever you say.
None. Except third-party games. That's the only thing they have to look forward to. They're exclusive.
What, you mean like Ghost of Yotei? That's not a third-party game. That's a PlayStation exclusive. In the Infamous series, we got hella games. God of War. Oh, whatever. And I don't mean we. I don't play console, but I'm just saying that PlayStation, you know, yeah.
Do not sell well at all. They supposedly have sold 80 million consoles. That's kind of hard to believe. 80 million consoles, and yet so many of their video games aren't even selling close to...
Oh, well then that explains the quotation marks on here. You think they're... Well, where'd you get the information from? Did you Google it? And when you Googled it, you didn't believe it?
To that amount.
Like, what source did you get it from?
Their game of the year, Astro Bot. That was game of the year for last year, right?
Oh boy. He's just like Harmon Smith, using game of the year as evidence to support if it's a good product or not. Look, Nintendo Nukem, I think was your name, right? Game of the year doesn't mean anything. I hope you know that. The game of the year, it's just an accolade. It's just an award. It doesn't mean that the game was good. You know what I'm saying? So please, I'm tired of these Nintendo shills trying to use copies sold or reviews or game of the year to support if it's a good game or not. That just goes to show that you guys can't formulate your own opinions about a product. You can't give it the time of day. You can't actually try it yourself. Or you don't bother to, at least. You just look at everything at face value, and then that's how you determine if it's a good game or not. You're really missing out on some good products, good titles, by acting that way, you know?
You mean to tell me that game was game of the fucking year, and it only sold 2 million copies? If even that? It probably sold less than that. It's probably just like, oh, it shipped 2 million, and they only sold like 1 million copies. Like 1 million people actually bought and played.
Copies sold doesn't mean everything. Game of the year doesn't mean everything.
The shitty game. But isn't it funny how they supposedly have an install base of 80 million, right? 80 million, yet only like 1 million or 2 million bothered to actually buy the supposed game of the year. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really add up, does it?
Also, let's use your logic against you. Most of the the best sold games of all time, a vast majority of them are not Nintendo games. I think it was like Minecraft, Tetris, maybe like Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, like a lot of these games are not Nintendo titles. Wii Sports is up there, and I think maybe Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Those are the only two that are up on the list of top best games of all time. And you know why Mario Kart and Wii Sports sold well? It's because both of those games were bundled with the Switch when it released. So obviously they were gonna sell well. And this, Wii Sports was bundled with the Wii, which was one of the best sold consoles of all time. So obviously these games are going to sell well. But other than that, a vast majority of the Nintendo games don't even make it on the best sold games of all time. And even if they do, they're not relevant anymore and no one talks about them anymore. Like, do you hear on a regular basis people talking about Wii Sports anymore? Not really. It might come out in a nostalgic rant every now and then, but people aren't talking about it really. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a better game than Mario Kart World, ironically enough, even though Mario Kart World is supposed to be, what comes after, but they somehow evolved backwards, so like, you have like little to no room to stand on when it comes to, copies sold equals a better game. Like, you have no room to stand on.
Just doesn't really add up. Most of their games, their exclusives, have been selling either 1 million or less. So it's kind of weird, like, have they really sold 80 million consoles? A lot of people theorizing that they probably have 30 million just sitting in the damn warehouse somewhere, like 30 million.
Again, this has nothing to do with the title of your fucking video. Learn to write a script, my guy.
Sitting in just multiple warehouses. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Because you know what? PlayStation does lie a lot about the sales of their consoles. I mean... Okay,
but do you have any scans or any evidence to prove that they're lying about the sales of their console? No? Okay, then I don't believe a word you're saying.
They just did it with the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 for many years now was at 155 million consoles sold. Then suddenly they see, the Switch catching up to that number, and it's like, oh, we're celebrating, 30 years of PlayStation. Oh, guess what? PlayStation 2 sold 160 million consoles. Get the fuck out of here. We all know PlayStation, they're fucking liars about everything.
I mean, it's possible. It doesn't mean that they didn't stop selling it. I mean, when did you see this? Oh, you don't have any scans to prove it? Okay, then. I'm pretty sure that they're not making the PS2 anymore because it'd be a waste of time, but people can still buy it.
The sales for their, PlayStation Portal, their VR headsets and all that, they counted those as PlayStation 5 sales as well. So look, we know they're fucking liars when it comes to...
And a 10 million copies sold gap between the last, data crunch between... a recent data crunch, maybe they had some that weren't accounted for in that time that they didn't run the numbers, like, it's not too far-fetched to believe that they went up in 10 million sales, you know what I mean? But whatever.
How much their consoles sell. And it's so...
And you could have also just got, that source wrong. You could have found the source wrong. So... Again, it's not too far-fetched to assume they made 160 million sales.
Funny how right now, PlayStation fangirls, them, certain Xbox fangirls, not all Xbox fanboys, but, the big-time grifters like that piece of shit known as King David on Xbox Frontline, guys like him. There's that fucking stupid-ass towelhead known as Septic Sauce.
Wait, you said grifters? Don't you mean shills? You don't even know your vocabulary. Whatever, let's continue.
Whatever, I don't know his name, but it's Septic Sauce's YouTube channel, that fucking idiot, that loser. You know, that's a guy right there who was a huge Xbox fanboy. Then when Xbox, you know, started putting their games on PlayStation 5, he immediately just jumped on the PC gamer bandwagon and was like, I'm a PC gamer now. It's like, yeah, okay, fucking idiot. And I wouldn't be ripping into that guy if his dumb ass hadn't started talking shit about Nintendo after the reveal of the Switch 2 and everything. Then he decided to be a f***it and just talk shit about Nintendo, so...
Well, maybe he just didn't like what he was seeing. Maybe he didn't like the Nintendo Direct. Maybe he just genuinely didn't like it. So how do you know that he's a fake fan?
That's my only problem with a lot of some of these Xbox guys, which they're probably not true Xbox fans. They're just grifters. They're just grifters. That's all they are. So don't get mad at me for ripping on them. They don't care about Xbox. They just care about their own stupid YouTube channel, and that's it. But you had those guys, you had those fucking idiots going at Nintendo, stupid ass, you know, quote unquote PC gamers or whatever, are still doing it. Again, these PC gamers are just fucking defeated losers who were heavily involved in the console wars. They lost.
Ironic.
They were heavily involved in console wars, yet you made a 30-minute video pretty much bashing all the other consoles. Yeah, you're throwing stones in a glass house, my guy.
Because their system of choice failed miserably, so now they have to hide behind that PC gamer label. That's how fake a lot of these PC gamers are. Oh, PC gaming is so great that we spend the vast majority of our time...
I'm sorry, y'all, this video is just so boring.
About Nintendo. It's like, doesn't sound like PC gaming is that great if you have to keep crying about fucking Nintendo.
Wait, what did you just say?
Doesn't sound like I'm just gaming is so great. That's how fake a lot of these PC gamers are. Oh, PC gaming is so great that we spend the vast majority of our time just bitching and moaning about Nintendo. It's like, doesn't sound like PC gaming is that great if you have to keep crying about fucking Nintendo.
No, we're not crying about Nintendo. We're pointing out very obvious flaws in their marketing or their business practices. You know, by the shit that they're doing. They're making paywalls on Mega Evolution, trying to sue Palworld for no reason. You know, they're making it so that they can break people's consoles if they think that they're not abiding by the terms of service that nobody reads except for lawyers. They're trying to patent the idea of summoning creatures into battle. You know, Nintendo is just doing stuff that is undefendable up until this point. Like this year alone, they're releasing a game that is not as good as the original for $80. Like, these are all just undefendable practices. It's not like we're talking about Nintendo constantly. We're just pointing out the flaws that they've been up to, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, how is that a bad thing? And what is your point?
Maybe it's because you guys don't have access to Nintendo video games. The only thing you sorry ass fucking bitches can do is, you know, illegally emulate their games and, you know, risk having to pay fines later for it.
Wait a minute, what? I'm sorry, nigga, what did you just say?
Games, sorry ass fucking bitches don't have access to Nintendo video games. The only thing you sorry ass fucking...
Are you driving your car? It sounded like... Yeah, I think you're driving a car.
Bitches can do...
No wonder the audio was so fucked up earlier.
Is, you know, illegally emulate their games and, you know, risk having to pay fines later for it.
I gotta say the same exact thing I said yesterday, don't I? Emulation is not illegal. You're just delusional. You don't know what you're talking about. Nintendo, the company that you're shilling for and bending over backwards for, literally came out earlier this year and said that emulation is legal, so no fines will have to be implemented. I don't know what the fuck you're on about, that Nintendo or that Switch, I mean that PC doesn't have Nintendo games, when we can play pretty much all of the Nintendo games, provided that we have the correct emulation and the correct mod support. but we can play pretty much all of the Nintendo games. So that's not even a point. And again, that doesn't really tie into the title of your video. So shut the fuck up.
So
you're actually pissing me off now. You've been pissing me off since the start of the video, but now you're pissing me off even more because you're calling people out using the F slur, calling people out who did nothing wrong, and you're just being delusional.
That's basically what,
because you're coping.
These PC gamers are. They're just stupid ass Nintendo haters who they know deep down Nintendo is great, their consoles are great.
Yeah, and you're a stupid ass PC hater, so shut the fuck up.
Games are great. But of course, they pretend that they don't like Nintendo because they are anti-consumer. Now, here's what's so funny about this anti-consumer bullshit.
Oh no, I think I see where he's going with this, and I don't like it.
These fucking idiots will say that, Nintendo Switch 2, oh, that's so anti-consumer. But then when the consumers actually decide, hey, you know what?
Sorry, y'all.
This is a good deal for me. I'm more than happy to buy this console. I'm more than happy to pay $80 for Mario Kart World. Then these same fucking idiots attack the consumers. So who is it that's really anti-consumer?
Nintendo is anti-consumer. You know why? I already listed the reasons, and I'll do it again. They're putting a paywall on Mega Evolution. They're patenting the idea of summoning a creature into battle. They're suing Power World for no reason, just because they're jealous. They have They've made it so that they have the authority to brick other people's consoles just because they're breathing wrong or they're using their product wrong. Even though they spent their hard-earned money on that console, $80 games for no reason. That's literally the definition of anti-consumerism. And if you can't understand that, then you're just coping, or you're just an idiot, or a little bit of both. Or you bend over backwards hilariously for Nintendo, or all of the above. So shut the fuck up, you have no points.
It's not Nintendo, it's you fucking
Nope, it's definitely Nintendo.
All are the ones who go out of your way to start attacking consumers when consumers decide that a certain product and the price of that product is a fair deal for them.
You only had one chance.
No, we're just pointing out how Nintendo is ridiculous and how you shouldn't purchase a Switch. We're not calling them out for buying the Switch. We're just advising them not to buy it. Like, how is that a bad thing? So, also, I don't even think you understand the definition of anti-consumerism, because you just explained how it's the opposite. You can't even get your vocabulary right. You can't follow a script. You can't even follow the title of your video. So you have no room to stand on, my guy. So shut the fuck up.
It doesn't sound like Nintendo's the anti-consumer one.
I mean, you're throwing stones in a glass house. You don't know what you're on about.
When it's the fastest selling console right now. All right?
Yeah, but not for long. I mean, once Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, the Switch is going to be irrelevant. And the Switch 2 is sort of already irrelevant because we have handhelds like the Steam Deck, which outperforms the Switch 2 in every way. So I don't know what your point is.
So you got that.
The only reason why the Switch 2 is doing so well is because there's shills like you. And just people will support Nintendo no matter what, But let's see what he has to say about Alex. But her Xbox fangirl turned to PC gamer. A disgusting sodomite, porn-addicted pervert. Why do you blur out the word porn, but you say the F slur in your videos? Isn't that kind of like stupid? Whatever.
Piece of shit known as, oh no, it's Alex or whatever. This guy, let me just tell you something about this disgusting piece of shit. He's apparently an actual bisexual, right? So he's a fucking cocksucker. And this piece of shit, there's a video out there. I might try to find it and add it here, but there's a video out there where he's on some live chat, and he's speaking with other YouTubers, and the guy asks him what was the most funny thing he ever seen in games or something, or or on YouTube, things of that nature. I don't know. And he like referenced some stupid fucking pornography video or whatever about some female video game character and how she was getting gang banged, and then there was a giant, penis going in her mouth. Like, it was just fucking stupid. It was disgusting. It was perverted. And his dumbass was talking about like, oh, it's funny or some shit, or it's cool or whatever. And the other people were just dead silent and just had that look on their face like, is this guy like just a fucking weirdo or something? Nobody laughed at it except for him. Nobody in the world laughed except for this fucking piece of shit. This fucking gay-looking Ben Affleck fucking type. Anyways, this guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Bro, how did your video not get reported? I genuinely don't know how your video didn't get reported. Like, you're just talking smack about people for no reason. Basically, if they have a differing opinion of you, or a differing opinion than you, then you go after them, like you attack them. Like, what did Alex do to you? Like, why, what did he do to you? Does he owe you money or something? Like, why are you acting like this?
Sometimes I'll see his stupid thumbnails pop up in my recommendations, and sometimes he's wearing like some gay looking fucking headband. It's like a furry headband with like, it has like fox ears on it. This guy's a disgusting piece of shit. I hope he gets like some disease and just fucking rots in hell. Disgusting piece of shit. So you got that fucking loser. He's constantly making stupid videos about Nintendo being anti-consumer or whatever. Then you got Fratanga.
Oh no, not Fratanga. Let's see what he has to say about the angry Mexican. Let's see. Stupid pothead with no purpose, half a retard. Xbox, can't say that word, now turned PC gamer. Alright, let's see.
Plays. Fratanga it himself. This fucking stupid, pot-smoking fucking retard. He's got this really stupid, annoying voice. He's got this gay-ass looking avatar, which I guess is supposed to be a very good picture of what he actually looks like. It looks like a fucking... It just looks like some puny-ass, pansy fucking scrub who doesn't even have a jawline or whatever, and it looks like he's got like a cigarette. He always has like a cigarette just coming out of his mouth, and he just looks like the most pathetic piece of shit.
I'm probably gonna ×2 this because he's just talking smack about people, trying to roast them.
I don't know why that's his avatar, but that's
good. He's funny,
very
I
fitting.
guess.
It's a good representation of what this guy is. He's just a complete fucking dweeb, loser. This guy has been making hundreds of videos talking shit about Nintendo this, whatever. This guy's a fucking loser. He fucking defended some games that have woke content in it just because it's from Xbox. So what? So let me tell you about Fratanga Plays or whatever. Fratanga Plays, he's another one. He pretends to be a PC gamer. Yeah, PC gaming master race. Yeah, whatever. And then, but every time it comes to Xbox, it's always like him praising Xbox. Never has anything bad to say about Xbox. So obviously this piece of shit is just a fucking Xbox fanboy.
He never has anything bad to say about Xbox. Yeah, and you have nothing bad to say about Nintendo. I mean, so what's your point?
And because Xbox has basically lost and they decided, hey, we're gonna put our games on PlayStation, now he has to hide behind the PC gamer label and act like he's just a PC fan. That's all it is. He's just a PC gamer, Fuck these fake ass motherfuckers who cannot admit who they are. They cannot be honest and just say, I'm an Xbox fanboy, I'm a PlayStation fanboy. No, they always have to hide behind, I'm a PC gamer, because why? Well, it's like a fucking safe zone.
Well, nobody's gonna call themselves a fanboy because fanboy has a negative connotation behind it. They would just say that they like it, or they would just say that they're a fan of it. Like a fanboy just has like negative connotation behind it.
For them, because PC gaming, it's not like there's a company, it's not a console, right? And anyone can build their own PC and start playing video games. So you can't really just be like, oh yeah, PC gaming sucks because they only sold this many PC games, whatever. No, because there's millions and millions and millions of people out there. They claim that there's a billion PC gamers. Well, I mean, how many games have sold like hundreds to 500 million copies on PC gaming?
It was me, Barry. I made them draw Lola Bunny with fewer sexual features so that you wouldn't be horny and reduce your blood flow to make you a millisecond slower. Slow enough for me to kill Iris. Remember when you were making out with your first girlfriend and you came right as she touched your leg? It was me, Barry. I jerked you off at super speed so it'd seem like you nutted at just a woman's touch.
How many copies of games have sold hundreds to 500 millions of copies on PC? Well, I don't even think you could say that about Nintendo games either. Because like the most sold Nintendo game I think has around like 60 million copies sold. And I think that's like Mario Kart. Mario Kart on the fucking Mario Kart 8. Fuck. Yeah, I think that has around 70 or 80 million copies sold. 60, 70 or 80 million copies sold. So I don't even know what you're on about.
That's what I would like to know, if there's really that many PC gamers out there. So I need to do some research and see how accurate that shit is. But these fucking
Oh, you're gonna do research? We're 22 minutes into the video and you haven't shown any scans of anything and haven't done any research about anything, and you're telling me that you're gonna do research? I find that hard to believe, but whatever.
losers, man. They are just defeated Xbox or PlayStation fanboys, probably Sega fanboys as well. You know, there's a lot of like former Sega fanboys who are now PlayStation fanboys, like Quarter Rock 77, that fucking loser. He was a Sega fanboy, Nintendo.
Dude, how long does he talk about this guy? It's been like 3 minutes.
Sega's ass. So what does he do? He jumps on the PlayStation bandwagon. So now he's pretending to be, well, now he is a PlayStation fangirl, but it's only because Nintendo whooped their ass. They whooped Sega's ass. Now they're whipping PlayStation's ass. They've been doing that for the last 8 years now, and so now he's basically been talking about how, you know, once PlayStation, you know, goes fully multi-plat and whatnot, he's just gonna start playing games on PC. He's gonna become a PC gamer, essentially. So it's funny how, you know, us Nintendo fans, we don't have a desire to become PC gamers. Maybe that's because we have the best games. PC.
All right. Finally, he's done talking about other people.
Okay, PC does not have any Nintendo games.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is I made it the fuck up.
Wait, PC doesn't have any Nintendo games? Well, I already said that they do. They have all of them, except for the Switch 2 games, which are trash.
Have to emulate them and whatnot.
And eventually, like in a year or something, we will have Switch 2 games.
Nintendo is not.
So what's your point?
We're gonna get rid of their exclusivity. So, you know, us Nintendo fans, we have it good. We have it better than everybody else right now.
No, you don't.
No. PC gamers, y'all can all go eat shit. You guys are pathetic. Stop pretending that, you know.
See, when you make fun of another person in the middle of an argument, you've automatically lost the argument. I hope you know that.
Your world of PC gaming is just that great, because it clearly is not. If you're
Oh, but it is. You just have no idea, or you're unwilling to give it a chance for some reason. I don't know why you wouldn't. Oh no, I know why. Because you're a shill for Nintendo, and you bend over backwards for them and do anything for them.
having to make so many videos trying to convince the entire world not to buy the Nintendo Switch 2, yeah, it's probably because...
Well, the purpose of these videos are not to try to persuade anybody to do anything. It's just to point out the flaws with Nintendo. That's all it is. But I don't know how you can't understand that. But yeah, we're not trying to persuade anyone into doing shit. We're just trying to highlight the bad that, you know, we're just trying to highlight what Nintendo is doing wrong.
You know, your PC gaming life just sucks, and it's just mediocre.
Mediocre?
Right? Y'all want to pretend that y'all care.
They're saying PC is mediocre, but Nintendo is far more mediocre.
So much about, you know, preserving video games. You fucking idiots play your games on Steam, Epic.
What's wrong with Steam?
Game Store, right? You get most of your games digitally.
Oh. We get most of our games digitally? Well, you could say the same about pretty much the other consoles as well. I mean, sure, the Switch 2 has those little cartridge things, but like Xbox, a lot of their consoles are being made with digital marketing in mind, where you can, you know, they don't have the cartridge slot to put the discs in, and so does the PlayStation. A lot of their consoles are being designed without the little disc insertion thing. So like, what's your point? I mean, I don't understand. I don't get what you're trying to say.
So you have no fucking right to talk. You want to talk about Steam Deck being better than the Switch? Excuse me, we can still play physical games on the Switch.
Just because you can play physical games on the Switch doesn't mean that the Switch 2 is better than the Steam Deck.
You fucking moron.
The Steam Deck has better resolution, better graphics, better hardware, better battery, better storage space, better RAM, better graphics cards, better core processors. The Switch 2 is more expensive, and you have to pay an online service in order to play the games, and they have the ability to break your console if they think that you're not using their hardware correctly. Whereas the Steam Deck, it's made by a company that actually respects the consumer. You can get any game that you want, including Nintendo games. You have more customization with it because it's a portable PC. The battery life is better, and yeah, the Steam Deck is just better in every way. And the most expensive version is only about a couple $100 for 1 terabyte more than the Switch 2. And if you want to get a Steam Deck that's the same price as the Switch 2. It's gonna cost the same as the Switch 2, yes, but you'll get 512 gigabytes of storage, which is far more than this, the Switch 2. So I don't know what you're on about. I don't understand what your point is. You're kind of just saying stuff and hoping that it sticks.
Steam Deck is a piece of shit.
It's really not. It's better. It's better than the Switch 2.
Rated. All right. It's never been anywhere near as good as the Switch or the Switch 2. Then another thing about these fucking...
Yeah, it's definitely better than the Switch 2, and you're just coping. And if you're gonna try to say that the Switch is better than the Steam Deck, get the fuck out of here. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure you didn't even research the specs on either of the devices. And even if you did, you probably only researched the specs on the Switch because you're biased towards it, and you didn't actually do your research on the Steam Deck.
PC gamers. These fucking idiots, they want to, again, I talked about, you know, them being, you know, for the consumers, but they're really not or whatever, because they'll attack the consumers when the consumers actually buy a certain product and games, because they don't share the same opinion as these idiots about Nintendo being anti-consumer and shit.
Well, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with people, but there is something wrong with disagreeing with people when you make 30-minute long videos talking about pretty much nothing for most of the video, and then calling people out and calling them names and disrespecting them. That's when there's a problem.
Isn't it funny how these fucking morons, you know, they always brag about, you know, emulating Nintendo's games, not giving them a single penny or whatever. But yet these are the same morons who will talk trash about PlayStation and Xbox whenever they do layoffs. Whenever they do layoffs, and these poor game developers are losing their fucking jobs because they're not making enough money, they're gonna talk shit about that big evil corporation. How dare they do that? All these game developers, you know, it's so sad to see these people lose their jobs. Really? So do you fucking pieces of shit not care about the game developers at Nintendo? Because apparently, you know, you're totally fine with not giving them your money. They're working their asses off making these great video games. They make some of the best fucking video games in the world.
Best video games in the world is debatable. That's subjective. And if you're trying to say that people emulating games is unethical to the game developers, then I disagree completely, because all we're doing is, if anything, we're highlighting some of these games and making them more amazing, or bringing up nostalgia as to why they were good in the first place. Take Pokemon Brick Bronze, for example. It's not the same exact game, but it's an emulation where the fans made something out of it interesting, you know? They made it a Nuzlocke and everything, and they were popularizing it, I guess, in a way, and making older titles of Pokemon more relevant, you know what I mean? If anything, it's the opposite. It's pretty much idolizing the developers in a way, where they're giving them props, but they're expanding on what they made. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really get how that's unethical. And like I said, Nintendo came out earlier and said that emulation is legal, so you have no room to stand on. Try again, my boy, try again.
And you know what? These aren't like woke fucking weirdos. These aren't left-wing freaks and shit like that. These aren't the kinds of people who put gay shit in their video games the way, like, you know, fucking Varva does. These are just...
I'm not gonna argue this whole woke bullshit thing because I don't know anything about it, so I can't argue about something that I don't know about.
You know, people who are passionate about video games, and, you know, they want to make the best video games, and Nintendo's one of the only companies who don't do all this woke DEI shit. But yet, you stupid motherfuckers who you pretend to be anti-woke, you pretend to be against DEI and shit like that.
Yeah, I don't even know what DEI even means, so I don't even care.
And you pretend to...
But also, keep in mind that these are fictional characters like Kirby, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Rosalina, King Boo. You're not going to expect to find woke propaganda in any of these games. I could argue maybe Metroid because the main character is a female, but she's been around for decades, you know, and nobody said anything years ago about fucking Samus, you know, so I don't see any reason why there would be any woke shit in any of their fucking games. You just gotta remember that these are just little games that are designed to kill time. So I don't understand what you're trying to like say by, you know, introducing the whole woke argument. I don't understand that. I don't know shit about woke shit or anything, so I'm not gonna even make a comment on it, but it's kind of a stupid point. It has nothing to do with what you were talking about in the title of your video either, so I don't really, this is really weird. It's a weird thing to leave in. I don't understand.
Care about game developers? Well, you fucking don't. You obviously do not fucking care. Because if you did, you stupid asses would be fine with buying the Nintendo Switch 2, buying their...
Oh, so you're saying, oh, well, you don't give a fuck about game developers, even though they're literally exploiting you by charging you $80 for their fucking overpriced kart racers, and they're trying to sue other intellectual properties that have nothing to do with one of their own intellectual properties, and they have the authority to break your console even though you give them $450 fucking dollars. No. You, the gamer, you're the one at fault for not liking this corporation for doing stuff like that. You're the one who's wrong for that. Like, what? Like, nigga, are you stupid? Like, come on, bro. You were already convincing me that you were kind of an idiot pretty much 10 minutes into your video, but now you've done so even more so, and I didn't even think that was possible. You've managed to disappoint me even further. Anyway, let's continue.
Fucking games, so that way these people can get the money they deserve, that they've earned.
You mean the money that they don't deserve because they're exploiting their customers?
And so they can continue having a job with Nintendo.
Oh, so that they can continue to exploit their customers?
Can continue to make great games.
Yeah, so they can... y'all get the point. So they can continue to finesse us? Yeah, fuck that. Do not give Nintendo your fucking money.
You fucking idiots don't even really seem to care about games. Alright? So fuck all you guys, fake ass motherfuckers. Anyways, this has been a long rant, but essentially this video is just about how...
Yeah, a long rant with no merit and nothing to go off of. And no scans, no proof, no evidence or anything to support any of your claims. All of it has been talking in circles about pretty much sucking Nintendo's dick. And you haven't even really, you know, proved why people are insecure about the Switch 2. You haven't really proved anything. You haven't shown any scans or proved nothing. You pretty much just, yeah. Y'all get what I'm saying. He's just been talking in circles.
You know,
you've been throwing stones in a glass house by saying that PC gamers and all that are coping, or they're shilling for PC, even though you've been shilling for Nintendo for the entirety of the video, so you can't be talking. Yeah, you don't know what you're on about.
Switch 2 generation, it's got so many of these people just butthurt up in arms. Their hypocrisy is like through the roof. They do...
How ironic. You talk about hypocrisy, yet you're the one throwing stones in a glass house.
Do not fucking care about gaming. They don't care about the game developers. They don't even care about the damn consumers. Because if they cared about the consumers, why would they attack the consumers when the consumers choose to buy the console and buy the video games?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
They're not attacking the consumers. They're attacking the corporation that employs lazy business practices and shady business practices. You fucking idiot.
Is when the consumers choose to buy the console and buy the video games. Nintendo is so anti-consumer, I hope their consoles don't sell, and then
Nintendo is anti-consumer, and I hope that their consoles don't continue to sell.
Consumers buy their consoles, and what do they do? What do they say? Oh, you bunch of corporate bootlickers. You bunch of bootlickers, corpo shills. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. People will buy a product if it's good, if it's very valuable in their eyes, if it gives them the best gaming experience. Period.
Okay, but that argument is subjective. And objectively, the Switch 2 was not as good as the Steam Deck. I've already proven it.
Period. Alright? So all this other shit, too, about, you know, the games being expensive or whatever.
Yeah, they're overpriced. Not expensive, overpriced.
Games costing too damn much. If the games are selling very well, Nintendo has every right to make the prices really high. Let me just remind you, idiot.
That's a terrible argument.
Mario Kart.
So you're saying just because they're selling well gives them the right to make the price however they want? Okay. Well, if they make an $120 game, you better not come onto YouTube and, you know, give them flack for it. You better still be defending them. You know what I mean? Now I know that they're probably not going to, but I'm just saying that you have to remain consistent in the future. So if they somehow decide, hey, look, we're gonna make an $125 fucking Kirby game, and then they release it, I don't want to see a fucking video from you complaining about the price of that said Kirby game, okay? You better hold us to that.
8 sold 68 million copies. Probably, it could very well get to 70 million copies, right? That is huge.
Wait, what?
Mario Kart 8 sold 68 million copies. Probably.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did sell 60 fucking million copies, but that's because it was like a lightning in a bottle type of game for them. I don't know if you remember the marketing and the businesses, or not businesses, but like the commercials and shit for it when it came out. But yeah, it was a big deal when it came out. It was a lightning in a bottle type of game. Same with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort and all that. But now nobody is talking about it anymore. People are probably still playing it, but not many people are talking about it anymore because Mario Kart World is out now. And eventually people are going to go back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because Mario Kart World is an inferior version of Mario Kart 8 in every aspect of the word. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of months from now, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has more players on it than Mario Kart World.
Probably, it could very well get to 70 million copies, right? That is
maybe. But it's crazy to me how they're still charging $60 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, even though the game's been out for over 12 years.
It's huge. So you know what?
I wouldn't call that pro-consumer.
Because the franchise is that popular, because, you know, the value of it is fucking through the roof, they have the right to charge people $80 for Mario Kart World. And
no, they don't, because Mario Kart World is an inferior version of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So like, why the fuck would they charge more when it's not as good as the previous game? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
If the sales of that game were to go down, and it was to start, you know, selling poorly because of that, because people just don't value that game as much, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna lower the price of it. Guarantee you. That is what they did with Mario RPG. They lowered the price of that
Also, you can't even say Mario correctly. You're saying Mario. It's Mario.
Game when it didn't sell well. When they released Metroid Prime Remastered for the original Switch, they only released it at $40 instead of like $60 or $70. And some people, you know, are like, well, I don't get it. That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? Let's see, because the franchise, the series of Metroid Prime has never been that good. Like, it's never sold that well.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is I made it the fuck up.
You know, they've never really been big bestsellers at all. So, of course, naturally.
So if it's never been a big bestseller according to you, why did you put in this little part right here the best first party games and you put Metroid on the fucking thing on it? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. And yes, I do agree with you. Mario is not as, Metroid is not as popular as Mario. But why the fuck did you imply that it was when you put it here in the thing here? It's almost like you don't know how to write a script or make a video.
They are gonna sell the game at $40 instead of $70 and $80. That's basically how they work. That's how they've always worked. So, yeah, a lot of these fucking idiots that are crying about everything regarding Nintendo, they pretend that they love Nintendo, but they're just so mad at them right now. Folks, it's all a bunch of bullshit.
No, they're not mad at them. They're just pointing out all of the shady business practices that they're employing.
Alright? They're just butthurt fucking Nintendo haters. That is it.
If anything, you're butthurt about what they're saying. So again, you're throwing stones in a glass house. You made a 30-minute video talking about nothing. I got no insight, no evidence, no scans or anything to support any of your claims. You think that sales equals a good product when that's not true. You were an asshole about it, you know, calling people out for having opinions, making fun of people. You know, you have no room to stand on because you're a hypocrite. It's crazy to me how you defend Nintendo. I don't get that. You try to use mental gymnastics to make it so that an $80 game is worth it, when in actuality it's not, especially because it's an inferior version of the predecessor. Yet you still somehow, I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense. I'm curious to see how you end this video. I want to know, like, how are you going to close it out? Because most of the shit you said didn't even relate to the title.
Period. End of story. They don't like Nintendo, they hate Nintendo, they're angry right now because Nintendo is succeeding. They're destroying PlayStation, Xbox, and you know what? They're way better than PC gaming. Alright, that's a fact.
No, it's false.
Hybrid console where you could play it on your TV and then take it with you into your living room or anywhere else, or to your friend's house and play it that way. Does PC gaming offer anything like that? No.
Yeah, they have a Steam Deck. You can do the same thing on a Steam Deck.
It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Does PC gaming offer you the best video games from Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Kirby? Do they do that? No, they...
Yes, you can play all of those games on a PC. All you need is Citra, and you can play pretty much all of those games.
They don't offer you the best video games out there. They don't have...
And then you can get other games as well. You can get all of the exclusives on all of the consoles. You can get whatever game that you know you want. Some games might take a little bit of time to actually get added to the PC, but it doesn't matter because there's so many games that you can play.
Exclusivity at all. And that's why you fucking losers can't shut the fuck up about Nintendo. Anyways, to all of my wonderful subscribers, this was a pretty long discussion here, but nevertheless, just a video overall about these stupid ass Nintendo haters and everything that I've been noticing this generation. And
all right, that's how he ends the video. Okay, well, no point in sticking around. Let's see what comments he got. Nothing. Nice. Nothing going on there. Cool. No description has been added to the video. Nice. See, he doesn't know how to write a script, doesn't know how to add a description to the fucking video. His logic is so flawed, it makes no sense. Well, I'm gonna end the video right there. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.